Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Datasight Basics. My name is Taylor Colon, and I'm part of the customer engagement team here at Test Oil. Just a definition of our department. We're kind of use baseball references, so we are kind of like your utility player. We definitely, if we can answer 99% of your questions, let it be changes to your database, basic report interpretation. Myself, I've worked at Test Oil for 6 years. I began initially as a technician. I moved into our quality department and onto our CAS department as well. So today's presentation is on the basics of utilizing Datasight. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. All right, so the basic how to log in. You go to testoil.com, and at the top corner here, you click on Datasight, log in. I'm going to go ahead and use our test login. And now if anybody needs their login information, you can absolutely email me or give us a call, and we'll definitely be able to provide that for you. All right, so this first page here, this is what we call the dashboard. And this is just an overview of everything kind of going on. If you want to take a quick look at what's going on in different areas. All of these pages are very similar, so most of the time you get to use to one, and you'll be able to utilize the other pages as well. All right, so the first area I want to go over here is the plant names here. This area, this lets you know that how many samples you've sent in for this month that you'll see there. And if some of you have different areas here, it'll show a general overview, but you can go from plant to plant. It automatically updates for you. All right, so in this area here, it'll tell you how many samples total were sent in August of 2018. The different areas here will show you the machine conditions and the number of samples that met that, and the lubricant conditions. The green dots, the color indications, they're all the same. That lets you know the actual conditions. So green will always be normal, yellow is marginal, and red is critical. And this graph here, the samples count, this lets you know, there's a little diagram here. The green line indicates the samples that were due per your schedule, and the gray indicates what was actually sent in. Right? Moving on down to the exceptions report. This is where you'll be able to see where your problem children lie. A general overview so you know where to focus, what most of your issues are. You'll see here that the largest issue is viscosity, followed by particle count. Now the definition of an exception is having a marginal or critical 3 consecutive times in a row, and it's put on to this list. And the line graph here also indicates the machine exceptions versus the lubricant exceptions. So you'll be able to see which kind of ratings you're receiving there and that kind of a trend. The next area here shows you the last 100 samples that you had sent in. Again, from that plant that you select, that'll be what is underneath here. The first area here, you'll see the plant, the machine number, which is an individual number which is assigned when we enter in your machine's name, machine ID, and the conditions also. And it'll let you know the lab number, the type of machine, and the lubricant being used. What's nice here is if you click on the lab number, you can pull up your PDF file and take a quick look at it straight from that page. All right, so the next area here is a recurring exception. Again, that's 3 or more exceptions of the same type. So let's say if we look underneath here, for example, at the second machine here, you'll see which machine it is and how many times that it's been flagged. So this has been flagged 8 times in a row for viscosity. Right, moving on up here, the first area that we're going to go over is the program management area. This is where you manage all of your equipment, make any changes that you need to, and can also order up supplies. So the first area we'll go over is the manage schedule. Okay, so we can definitely make some, narrow down some areas. So we'll go to Eastlake again. And again, not everybody has separate areas underneath their account, but you can go ahead and just click on one there, hit the green search button, and that'll filter for you. What's nice about this, we have a smart filter. So if you know the beginning part of your machine name, for example, you can go ahead and start typing in turbine. And if you click on that hourglass there and go to contains, it'll show up all the machines that have turbine in its name. Okay, so you can manage your schedule here. You can click all months, or you can click on here to indicate which month you would like to sample. So let's say we want to make this every 90 days. So you can go ahead and start in January to April to July to October. That one there. And to save those changes, you would go to this area here, Save Changes. We want to make sure. And if you made any changes that you don't wish to make, you can also click on Cancel Changes as well. Another feature that I like to use on this as well, if there's a mass update that you have to make, we can absolutely make that for you in the CES department. So at any time, you can export this. And it will show your complete list. And a lot of times what I have our customers do is just indicate with X's where you would like to sample in. And we can absolutely make those updates and changes for you on our end as well. All right. The next area we will go under is the Manage Equipment Database. All right, this is going to be a full list of all of your equipment that you have set up with us. And from here, again, the same filters you're able to use. So we'll choose Eastlake, search. Perfect. And from here, you can make any changes to, for example, if you have changes to the machine name to make, you can just click in the box there, make your updates. And the same goes for all of these functions. And with the loop type, it's a drop down, which has a list of all of the manufacturers and loop types that we have in our system. You can go through the list, and it's also a smart filter. So if you start typing in here, it'll get you down to your manufacturer, make it easier for you to filter. And all of these areas can be modified. And another feature I use on this, if there are mass updates that you're needing to be conducted, again, we can export this out again. And what we have our customers do is actually make the changes to the spreadsheet and just highlight the changes. So let's say we're making an edit to this line here. Just go and highlight it yellow. So that lets us know which lines need to be updated and changed. And that can always be emailed to us at customerservice@testoil.com. Right, so the next area we have here is adding equipment. There are two ways to add equipment. The first way here that you see where you can actually fill out online here, that's great if you have 2 or 3 machines to add. But we also have an equipment sheet that you click there and it generates a spreadsheet for you. If you have 15 or 20 machines, it's definitely a better way to go. It's a lot faster on your end. So the basics that we need on here, we need a machine name and the lube type and manufacturer, and of course any other information that you'd like us to have within the system. Now the only thing to remember is with the machine names, we need unique names for all of them so they can be identified separately in our system. And from here you would fill that out and again send that over to us and we can mass update that for you. All right, so for the fill-in, if you have one or two machines, this first area, you can choose the area in which you want to put the machine. You would put your name here, your email, your machine name, any other information as well that you would like to add, the type of machine, the manufacturer, model numbers, and so on. And you can also put in the schedule that you'd like. So you can switch it to a 90-day or whatever you're needing. And this box here is for any kind of special instructions. You can put limits in. Let's say we want an ISO code goal of 18, 16, 14. Marginal. You can type that in and we can get that in when we add your piece of equipment. Or if you want to indicate any special testing at all, ICP elemental. And we would also receive that after you hit the submit button. All right, so our next area is sample labels. All right, so our pre-printed labels, basically how that goes, there's a 3-digit code that's along the pre-printed labels along the bottom. You might have seen them. The first number is your customer number. Actually, I'll generate one here for you for an example. So just with these drop downs, if you want to print out some labels here, you can click your area. Or if there's a specific machine that you want, it's a smart filter, so you can type in turbine, click on the one you would like, click on search. All right, so it's not due for August, so let's see. Okay. All right, so all of these will generate for you your indicated labels, but you can click on individual ones that you're needing. You might not need them all. All right, so to do that, you would just go to View Print Labels. All right, so it'll show you a print preview of your labels. And this 3-digit code here is what I was referencing. The first number on your labels, that's your actual individual account number. The second number is your plant or area underneath your account. And the third number here is your individual machine number. We definitely recommend that you use the pre-printed labels. It definitely speeds up the process of getting your samples into the lab with the input. These 3 numbers are put in, and our system automatically knows that it belongs to this machine. All right, so to actually print these out, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can click on the print icon. And print straight to your printer. Okay, so another way we can do this, if you want to save these labels so you don't want to go in every time to print labels, you can go to this drop down, select Acrobat PDF, and export. And you could actually from here just save it straight to your desktop, and you can have access to be able to print that off at any time. Okay, and these labels are also available with our free supplies. If you want to request bottles and you want pre-printed labels as well, we'll be more than happy to provide those for you. All right, so the last area under program management is your supplies. All right, and to order supplies, you would just select the plant that you would like or area. It autofills for you here. You just want to verify the address, any attention details, and with the notes, it's an area, any kind of notes that you'd like us to enter in for UPS. You know, building side B, building 612 type of business, just in case there's specific kind of shipping instructions that you need. Along here, you'll see a list of all of our supplies that we offer. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so the first area here is our pre-printed labels. And you would just put the quantity that you would like, how many full sheets. You could either do, you know, full sets. You can do machines 1 through 5. Any kind of instructions that you like, any kind of the machines that you would like or anything like that. All gearboxes. We can do that for you as well. We have bottles that are in 12 counts. We have 30 counts. Individual bottles. We carry return mailers. We also carry blank labels. And we have 3 sizes of tubing. The 1/4 size tubing is definitely adequate for most lubricants that you have. And of course, if you have thicker lubricants with thicker viscosity, we have the tubing for that as well. We offer sampling pumps, our repair kits for the sampling pumps. We have larger bottles here. For example, we carry the 8-ounce bottle, and here is an example of the testing that this would be appropriate for. This would be appropriate for the optical particle count or RVOT testing. We carry the 16-ounce bottles, which is for varnish potential testing. The 64-ounce bottles, which is generally used for the annual turbine analysis. We carry flat boxes of the 30 counts and also the 12 counts. All right. And if for any reason you do not know what size bottle you are needing, we have a what size bottle do I need area, and it gives you a general idea of what's necessary. All routine testing, you know, 4 ounces, varnish that goes through here, lets you know which bottle would be appropriate for you. And of course, if you ever have a question of that, you can always get a hold of us, either if you email us or give us a call. We'll be more than happy to help you. All right, so that is it for the program management area. All right, so the other areas here, for example, the DART and some of the report area, that will be part of our second part of the advanced data site, but I will go through some of the basic report options here. So if you hover over reports and go to view your reports, you can pull up previous data that you'd wish to see. You can always change the date range to any time frame that you'd like. You can select a certain plant. One thing I do recommend is that you constantly do the research here. Definitely helps with some kind of lagging and updating. So again, smart filtering. So if you start typing in the name of the reports you'd like to see, you can do that. Again, the search button. What's nice here is you can also search by the machine condition and the lube condition. So let's say you're not really interested in your normals. You want to see where your problem children are. You can go to marginal and critical for both lube type and the condition. Search. All right, so this will let you know. So let's take a look at this first report here. So again, this is all the information. The sample date, that's the date that your sample was taken. The name of your machine, your ID, the machine type, your lab number, which you can always click on to pull up a PDF version of it. This lets you know that your machine condition was normal, but your lubricant was critical. And of course, there's a feedback form here. If you click on that, you just type in your information here, your email, and any questions that you have regarding with your lubricant condition. If you're looking for any kind of advice or any questions for the analyst team or the CES department, you can go ahead and submit this here. This will generate a feedback form to us. It actually has the report number attached to it as well, so we can pull that up and take a look at it and go over any questions that you may have. Okay. And if you hover over that, you can see a general idea of what the feedback that you'd sent was. Okay, so the Manage Corrective Actions area. This lets you know the action that you've taken, change a breather. You can make any notes that you wish and add any work order numbers. Actually, I'm going to expand this out a little bit. All right, so again, you hit the Add/Edit button, and all of this is able to be updated. So with this drop-down, it gives you a general category of the action which was taken. Any notes, if you want to notate any technicians that took care of it, any work order numbers, the date the action was taken, oil change dates, all of this, and you can click on Update, and that'll save for you. Okay. And the nice thing about the Manage Corrective Actions, all of this information that you submit here will show up the next time that you sample this machine. It'll show up on the far right corner below your actual graph that you have there. So you'll have the dates and any of the information. So you can take a look at that report and see exactly what actions were taken when, and if they were appropriate actions. All right. And also you can view these reports. Okay, let's say you want to take a look at a few. So you can go to this area here and select a couple that you would like to see. And click on View Print. That will generate a PDF file for you. So this definitely allows you to take a look at what was going on. And you can always save those as well if need be. All right, and another area here we have is a technical library. If you have any kind of questions or anything, any definitions, we can go over that quickly. We have a glossary in which defines any of the words that any of the verbiage that we use in regards to your reports. It has definitions for you alphabetically. We have our practical guidebook here that's available online if you want to read up on the different testing that we conduct and different information. All right, we also have oil sampling instructions you can utilize. We have a report key here. This will define different areas of your report. And we also have a Datasight user guide. which is the definition of the different reports and any other questions there. You can definitely filter through. All right, so that concludes our basic interpretation of Datasight. Again, we will be having a part 2, which will go over more in depth the different types of reports and Dart as well, which is another way to be able to look at your data as well. And any questions that were asked, we're going to go ahead, we're going to answer those for you via email. So be sure to absolutely reach out to everyone with their different questions. And at any time, if you have any questions on Datasight, any of the functions, you can always give me a call here at TestOil. And I want to thank everybody for their time. Have a great rest of your afternoon, great rest of your week, and I'll be talking to you all soon. Take care.